So welcome to part 8 in my journey to STEM. I'm Carlotta A, and I'm an electrical engineer, controls engineer, robotics engineer, and engineering professor. So if you've been keeping up, I am now almost done with my journey through grad school. I just need to write my thesis. And something interesting happened. I went to the NASB convention and I was at the career fair, not because I needed a job. I was on leave from Ford, but there was this really cool trinket I wanted on the table. And this guy was like, I can only give you that trinket if you give me a resume. I'm like, I don't even need a job, but I wanted it. I don't even remember what the trinket was. I went and printed out a resume just to get the trinket off that table. And I got a job offer. Let me tell you why this is important. Around that same time, it was time for me to express my intent to return to work as soon as my thesis was defended and finished. And one of my friends, who's now a working engineer, who I mentored as a college student there, tells me in meetings, they still bring your name up and they say things like, oh, this project's going to be horrible. We'll hold that one back to give to Carlotta when she comes back from her leave. And she told me this because she wanted me to know, don't come back here. It's toxic and it's not a good place for you. And God knew that. And God gave me a job to go to so that I would not have to return, that I didn't even ask for. So almost as soon as I finished my thesis, I walked right out the door of Wayne State to work as a controls engineer for Detroit Edison, which was the electric utility. I worked in a coal power plant and I worked on a distributed control system. And I wasn't even a year into my job, and I loved it. I'm so glad I went there because I now knew that all engineering jobs were not toxic like my original one. But that's not where I wanted to be. So as soon as I defended that thesis, I started applying to grad school because Detroit Edison didn't know this, but I was on to bigger and better things. That's part 8, and please come back for part 9 and stay STEMtastic.